If you've ever gotten really excited about automation, like you see this amazing AI thing online, maybe someone's showing it off, and it looks, no, it looks simple, a few
Yeah.
steps. But then you open up something like N8N or make.com, even Zapier sometimes, and suddenly your screen is just this tangle, these nodes,
Yes.
right? These little boxes and lines everywhere connecting things. And you're spending your whole evening trying to figure out why data isn't getting from, A to B. It's that feeling, excitement, just exhaustion from the sheer complexity. B. Okay, so let's unpack this a bit. Today we're diving deep into something that honestly feels like a pretty big shortcut. A shortcut to mastering complex automation, even if you're not really a developer, or maybe you just don't want to be one. We're talking about Stream by Pipedream. It's a tool that seems to be really changing how we interact with AI workflows.
Yeah, and here's where it gets really interesting, I think, for anyone looking to actually build something. We're going to explore what actually makes String fundamentally different from, the usual tools. We'll walk through building a real AI agent, like from scratch. We'll compare it to the big guys, the titans, like Zapier and NN, talk about its limits, too, because let's be real, no tool's perfect. And maybe even peek into some more advanced stuff. It's really all about helping you get a handle on this new kind of power.
Okay, so let's start with that familiar pain point. We've all been there.
Right.
With those visual tools, N8N, make.com, Zapier when it gets complicated. It's the endless dragging, dropping, connecting those nodes. Then you're wrestling with APIs, those digital doorways between apps, authentication, getting your data formatted just right, maybe in JSON, that sort of web language.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, just hours debugging. You end up feeling totally wiped out by the complexity, often before you even get your actual idea working.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
that's precisely the headache String is trying to eliminate. Imagine just like a totally different approach, a paradigm shift, really. Instead of all that low-level wiring, you just talk to it. You tell a chat interface what you want, like, hey, do X, Y, and Z for me every day, and then String builds the whole workflow. Honestly, for a lot of tasks, especially the AI-heavy ones, it feels kind of like magic. It's just a fundamentally different way to think about automation.
So you're saying it's about freeing up the idea itself from all that technical weight.
Yes, exactly. Less technical struggle, more focus on what you actually wanted to achieve.
Which brings us to String's core idea, right? This intent-based automation. With the old tools, you are the architect. You map out every connection, every single step. It's all on you. String sort of flips that around. It makes you the client, the one with the vision. You just describe the dream setup, and it figures out how to build it.
Precisely. It acts like a really smart general contractor for your automation project. It basically follows a four-step process, pretty streamlined. First, it listens. You just describe your end goal, in plain English in a chat box. Second, it plans. String analyzes what you said, figures out the steps, which services it needs, like Gmail, Slack, Notion, OpenAI, whatever. And then it shows you a detailed plan, like in easy-to-read steps
Hmm.
for you to check.
Okay.
Third, assuming you say looks good, it builds. It automatically writes the code underneath, connects the APIs, sets up all those nodes behind the curtain that you'd normally be pulling your hair out over. And finally, it tests and deploys. It runs tests, tries to automatically fix common errors it finds, which is huge, and then it deploys the agent, makes it live. And what's really cool is how it talks to all these different services. It uses something called MCP, Model Context Protocol. Think of MCP as like a universal translator for APIs. It lets String interact with Google, OpenAI, whatever, without you needing to mess around with API keys or complicated logins for each one.
That sounds incredibly freeing, just delegating all that. And something else I noticed is pricing, a flat monthly fee. That includes all the API usage, even for things like OpenAI's GPT models, plus the infrastructure, the monitoring. It means no more trying to track all those little per-task costs from different places, which can get really confusing.
Right. It's designed to just remove that whole headache of unpredictable bills. It's a big plus.
So, bottom line, I don't actually need to be a coding whiz to make this work.
Nope, not at all. It genuinely handles the heavy technical stuff for you.
All right, let's get practical then. Building your first AI agent. The absolutely critical first step, and you hear this a lot with AI, is defining your purpose clearly. It's very much garbage in, garbage out. You got to be super specific about what you want the end result to be. Otherwise, well, String won't know what to build.
Absolutely crucial. Let's maybe use two concrete examples to make it real. Okay, say you're a marketer. You might want a brand reputation monitor. So the agent scans social media, news sites for mentions of your company, analyzes the sentiment, good, bad, neutral, then sends a neat little summary to Slack every day.
Okay, makes sense.
Or imagine you're a recruiter. You need help screening resumes. So when an email comes in with a PDF resume attached, the agent reads it, pulls out key info like name, skills, experience, adds it all to a Notion database, maybe even gives a quick suitability score. See, very specific outcomes, not just help me with recruiting.
Got it. And once you have that clear purpose, then it's about writing the prompt, that conversation you have with String. And you mentioned don't be shy about making it detail. Longer is often better.
Yeah, exactly. More detail, more context usually leads to a smarter, more accurate agent. So for that marketing example, the prompt might be something like, okay, build an agent, runs 8 a.m. weekdays. Search Google News and Twitter for my company name in the last 24 hours. For every mention, use AI to figure out sentiment. Positive, negative, neutral. Compile everything into one report grouped by sentiment. Send it to the hashtag brand mentions Slack channel. Make sure each mention has a link back to the original source. See, quite detailed. And for the recruiting one, monitor my Gmail. If an email has application for software engineer position in the subject and a PDF attachment, do this. 1, download and read the PDF. 2, use AI to pull out full name, email, phone, years of Python experience, list of backend tech mentioned. 3, add a new row to my engineer candidates table in Notion. 4, put the extracted info into the right columns. 5, give a 110 suitability score based on the CV and put that in the suitability score column. And very specific instructions.
That level of detail makes perfect sense, though. It tells the AI exactly what success looks like. So after you send that detailed prompt, String comes back with what it calls an execution plan, right? For you to check before it starts building. So for the marketing one, the plan might show, like, trigger, daily 8 a.m., step 1, search Google News. Step 2, search Twitter. Step 3, look through results. Step 4, analyze sentiment, open AI. Step 5, format report. Step 6, send to Slack. You just look it over, make sure it captured your intent, and hit approve.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then you just kind of watch the magic happen. You see these real-time logs popping up on screen, connecting to Google, authenticating Slack, creating OpenAI node. And sometimes it'll prompt you like, hey, need permission to access your Google account. Click allow. It's honestly like watching a super fast developer just coding away for you right there.
Yeah. And this next part is where, for me, it gets really impressive. The automated testing and debugging. Because let's be honest, errors happen. Things break in complex systems. It's unavoidable. I mean, I still wrestle with prompt drift myself sometimes, where the AI output just kind of veers off track over time. So this self-healing thing sounds huge.
Oh, it really is a game changer. String's ability to debug itself is a massive advantage. Take the marketing agent. Maybe it tries to fetch a news article, but the site blocks it or the page is broken. Instead of just crashing, String might recognize the problem and try something else. Like, okay, couldn't get the full text. Gonna try using the Google search snippet instead.
Right.
It adapts. Or the recruiting one. Maybe a CV is in a really weird format, and the AI struggles to pull out the years of experience reliably. String might see it got weird data, like 0 or nonsense. It could then retry, maybe tweak its internal prompt to the AI, or if that fails, it could just log the issue, maybe flag that candidate in Notion for you to look at manually. But crucially, it doesn't break the whole workflow. This kind of self-correction saves literally hours compared to digging through logs and nodes in, say, N.A.N., trying to figure out what went wrong.
And then finally you deploy it, and you start getting the results, like, right away. It's pretty remarkable how fast it can be. That whole cycle idea, prompt, plan, build, test, deploy it, really can just take 15, maybe 20 minutes sometimes. That feels like a revolutionary shift in speed.
It absolutely compresses that whole timeline from concept to working automation. It's fast.
So most of the time, the agent just handles hiccups itself without me needing to jump in.
Yeah, it tries its best to fix things, or at least clearly flags the big problems for you. Bidroll sponsor read.
Okay, so we've painted a pretty positive picture of String, and for good reason, it seems. But like any new tech, especially cutting-edge stuff, it's important to look at the other side, too. Where does it maybe still have some growing pains? When might, another tool actually be a better choice?
That's a really important question. And when you compare String to the big players like N8N or Zapier and Mate.com, you see clear differences in strengths and who they're for. String's approach is intent-based. You describe the goal. N8N is visual programming. You connect the nodes. Zapier make are more simple, event-driven, if this, then that.
Right.
The learning curve, String is super low. Just talk to it. N8N is, frankly, high. You need to understand logic, APIs, maybe even code. Zapier make are kind of low to medium, depending. String's core strength, speed and simplicity, especially for AI stuff. N8N's strength, total flexibility, customization, self-hosting if you need it. Zapier make, their huge library of apps, and just proven reliability. How they handle AI tasks. String is excellent, AI is baked right in. A8N is decent, but you set up AI like any other step. Zapier.Make have more basic, built-in AI actions. Pricing. String is all-inclusive, that flat fee. A8N can be free if you self-host, otherwise flexible tiers. Zapier.Make are usually per task, which can get expensive fast if you run lots of automations. So the ideal user. String is great for non-technical folks, marketers, founders, anyone needing fast AI prototypes. A9 is more for developers, automation pros who need deep control. Zapier.Make are perfect for general business users needing simple app-to-app connections.
So to sum that up, choose String for speed, for AI-heavy workflows if you're not super technical, or you want something you can mostly set and forget.
Exactly. And you stick with NAN when you absolutely need granular control, when you have really complex logic, need to integrate with internal systems, want to self-host for security, or need to inject custom code.
But like you said, no tool is perfect. Let's be honest about String's limitations. It's still pretty new. It must have some quirks.
Oh, absolutely. It definitely has quirks. One thing is occasional inconsistency. Because it relies on a large language model, the same prompt might not always give you the exact same plan, or an agent that's been working fine might suddenly glitch. It just hasn't reached that, 100% predictable reliability you get with traditional code yet.
Okay, that makes sense.
Then there's the black box issue when things go really wrong. The self-debugging is great for common stuff, but if there's a really complex failure, figuring out why can be harder than an NEN where you can often pinpoint the exact failing node. With String, sometimes you get a generic error and you kind of have to chat with it to diagnose.
Right, like debugging via conversation.
Kinda. Also, integration gaps. It connects to a lot of popular stuff, but it just doesn't have the thousands of apps Zapier has. You might need to use webhooks for less common tools, and webhooks, while powerful, do need a little technical know-how. And finally, you have to accept it's a tool for early adopters. That means you get the cool new stuff first, but you also accept things might change features, UI, and you'll probably encounter some bugs along the way.
So it's incredibly powerful, but there's still that element of AI unpredictability woven in.
Yeah, exactly. It's cutting-edge technology, so a few rough edges are just part of the package right now.
Okay, so once you get the hang of the basics, you mentioned exploring more advanced techniques, ways to really turn String into a serious automation machine.
For sure. One powerful idea is prompt chaining. Instead of building one massive agent for a really complex job, you break it down. Create several smaller, specialized agents that feed into each other. So maybe not one agent to turn a podcast into tweets, but Agent 1 transcribes the audio. Agent 2 takes the transcript, summarizes it, maybe drafts a blog post. Then Agent 3 takes that blog post and generates a bunch of tweets.
Ah, like an assembly line.
Exactly. Each agent does one thing really well, and you can connect them. Whoa! I mean, imagine scaling that kind of thing to handle, 1 billion different content pieces a day. The potential for complex chained workflows is just huge.
That's pretty mind-bending.
Yeah.
You also mentioned mastering output formatting.
Yeah, this is key for making String play nicely with other tools. You can actually tell String, okay, I need the output in this exact JSON format with these specific keys: name, email, sentiment score. Getting precise about the output structure is crucial if you're going to feed that data into another system reliably.
Right.
And then there are webhooks. Using webhooks basically lets you integrate anything. Think of a webhook as String giving you a unique web address, like a personal inbox for your agent. Any other app that can send data to a URL can trigger your String agent.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So maybe your CRM sends new customer feedback details to your String agent's webhook URL. String analyzes the sentiment, maybe summarizes it, and then posts the result to Slack. It's like a magic door connecting String to almost anything else online.
Okay, this really paints a picture of broad applicability. Let's maybe talk about 5 specific roles who could probably benefit from using String, like right now. What's the direct impact?
Good idea. Okay, first, founders and solopreneurs. Huge leverage here. Automate market research, track competitors, brainstorm product ideas, even draft initial marketing copy. Imagine an agent that scans forums daily, looking for problems people mention, potential startup ideas right there. Second, marketers and content creators. It's like having an assistant for brainstorming, first drafts, repurposing content. You upload a YouTube video, an agent could automatically transcribe it, write a blog summary, create discussion points, draft tweets, all from that one video.
Wow.
Third, recruiters. We talked about screening, but it can go further. Maybe find candidates on LinkedIn based on criteria, then draft personalized outreach emails, automates a huge chunk of that initial time-consuming work.
Yeah, I can see that.
Fourth, researchers and analysts. Gather data from various sources, do some initial cleaning or summarizing, format it into reports. Maybe an agent monitors new scientific papers in your field, pulls out the abstracts and conclusions, and emails you a digest every morning.
Nice.
And fifth, operations managers. Automate daily reports, compliance checks, things like that. Connect to a sales database, generate a daily performance snapshot, send it to the management team automatically. It just handles those repetitive operational tasks.
So across the board, it's really about freeing up human time for the stuff that requires more thought, more strategy.
Absolutely. It takes care of the repetitive grind, letting you focus on the higher value, human-centric work.
Let's quickly hit some common questions people might have. FAQs, if you will.
Sure. Data security comes up a lot. String and pipe dream underneath it, use standard encryption, secure connections is generally solid. But if you're in a super sensitive industry, healthcare, government finance, where you need absolute control over data residency, then maybe self-hosting N is still the safer, the more complex route.
Okay. What if an agent fails? Just stops?
It has retry logic built in.
Yeah.
And you can configure pretty good error notifications, get an email or a Slack message telling you what failed and maybe why, instead of it just dying silently.
What about that all-inclusive pricing? Is it really unlimited?
It's designed for simplicity, yeah. You get a large number of credits or runs included in the flat fee, which covers the API calls too, like to OpenAI. For most users, it's effectively all-inclusive. But if you plan on massive volume, definitely double-check their pricing page for the specific credit limits.
Makes sense. And lastly, can you just drop in your own custom code if you need to, like a Python script?
Nope. String is deliberately no code, or maybe low intent. You can't embed custom JavaScript or Python. If you need that level of deep programming logic within your workflow, N8N is definitely the tool for that job. String is about the intent, not the code.
You know, stepping back, String really does feel like an exciting leap. It feels like we're moving away from having to meticulously instruct computers, step by step, line by line, and moving towards just communicating our goals, talking to them in natural language, like you would to a capable assistant.
Yeah, the technical hurdles for doing really sophisticated automation are definitely coming down. It's becoming accessible. It means almost anyone can start harnessing automation and AI in powerful ways. Now, traditional tools won't vanish. They definitely still have their place for deep customization and control. But this natural language approach, it's opening up productivity and creativity for millions who were maybe intimidated by the tech before. It's a new era.
So what does all this really mean for us, the people trying to learn and use these tools?
It means incredibly powerful capabilities are now within reach for pretty much everyone.
So wrapping up this deep dive, it seems String genuinely simplifies building complex AI automations. We're moving from wrestling with nodes and connections to just describing what we want, our intent. It's not perfect. Sure, it has those quirks we talked about, but it feels like a massive step forward for productivity.
Yeah, and maybe the provocative thought here is, the question isn't if building these kinds of AI agents will get easier. It clearly is. The real question is, what will you do with this newfound power, this ability to automate things that used to take hours or were just too complex before?
That's a great question to ponder. Think about that one repetitive task, that thing you kind of dread doing every day or every week. Imagine just automating it away, giving yourself back that time. Maybe explore how these intent-based tools like String could genuinely change your workflow and free you up for the things that really matter.